Today, I want to speak to you about how to reconnect with your partner. It's a very underrated and simple tool that no one's really talking about. It's called curiosity. Have you looked at your partner lately and thought to yourself, when did we become strangers? The time to connect seems more like a task list, something between picking up the kids at school and getting dinner on the table. And the problem with that is then resentment starts creeping in. And it's one of the number one things that I see, especially for women coming in to see me. They feel a lot of resentment towards their partner. It's like resentment's almost become a third wheel. It follows you wherever you go. Now, I get it. If you're here, you're likely carrying the weight of 1,000 responsibilities. You're someone who seems to be on the outside doing it all, kids, work, your own personal life, trying to see your own friends whenever you can, trying to do, you know, have some own self-care, maybe working out. And somewhere along the way, your marriage shifted from a we to just you. So if you haven't come to this channel before, my name's Luella, and I know this isn't the life that you imagined when you once said, I do. But today I want to show you how a simple shift can build your connection in your relationship. Often couples tell me how things were great when they were on a trip. Do you remember the last time you were on a trip with your partner? Now, think about it for a second. You might think it was because, you don't have the pressures of work and it's beautiful weather and you're not cooking or something like that, but that's not really it. It's something else, and it's something very simple. It's what I said before. It's curiosity. I mean, it sounds almost laughable, right? But it's the key to cutting through resentment, because when you're traveling and you're in a place that you haven't seen before, you are very curious. You're doing something new almost every single day. And so is your partner. And it's a way of reconnecting. So, you're going to be able to find emotional intimacy again. And well, okay, so let me take you back to earlier this year. Something that I realized myself as I was laying on our dock at the cabin and I was staring up at the stars. And for the first time in years, I let myself just be still. And, gazing out at the stars, it hit me how insignificant I was in this vast universe. And it was at that moment that reminded me that relationships really thrive when we step out of our me-centric worlds, where we're so focused on ourselves, we forget what a small part we play. And instead of thinking about me, woe is me, try getting curious about the person in front of you. Think about it. When was the last time you were truly curious about your partner? And I get it, there could be some people listening to this that, are going to tell me I'm constantly asking my partner a question, especially women, and men just don't talk. Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe it's a little bit more about your approach. So you could look at that a little bit closer. But like, for example, don't get curious in the sense that you're like, don't try to fix them, but instead try to understand them more. Ask a lot of questions. People love talking about themselves. Have you ever noticed that? If you give them a chance. So, like, just picture this. Let's say you've had a day from hell. All you want is for your partner to get it, to get you. Now imagine they paused, looked at you in the eyes and asked, well, tell me more. What happened today? And how did that make you feel? What can I do for you? What do you need from me? Do you see how every one of those statements are questions? They're not statements. And that's really powerful. So just let that sit for a moment. Curiosity transforms everything. It stops the blame cycle It anchors you into the present and it lets you feel seen. Let me give you another example. So let's pause for a second. I mean, right now, you might be carrying a laundry list of grievances. You're thinking, why should I care when they've let me down so many times? And I hear you. That's a really tough place to be. But curiosity isn't about condoning hurtful behaviors, it's about changing your approach. When you stop reacting and start responding, you create space for real conversations and healing, which is probably the biggest piece of this, knowing you could be someone that's holding a lot of resentment against your partner. So tonight, I challenge you. Instead of pointing out what's wrong, ask your partner a single question. So, what's been on your mind lately? And then to stop and listen, not to fix it, not to offer suggestions, not to cure it, the problem, but just hear it and give some empathy towards that. This isn't about solving every problem overnight. You got to take small steps, building connection brick by brick, and curiosity is your foundation. Okay, so if this resonated with you, I'd love for you to share some of your thoughts in the comments. What's one thing you're curious about in your relationship, about your partner? And it would be great if you actually tried this challenge tonight and let me know how it worked for you. Because you know what? There's a solution to every problem. We just need to ask for help and we need to look for it. So subscribe if you feel this helped, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks.